Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again. Today we have Carrie from Florida. Henry Ford once mentioned anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. Carrie is a perfect example of learning and teaching and has just absorbed the above quote in her life. Carrie is a master storyteller, has been connecting curriculum, people, languages, and cultures in both English and Spanish for over 35 years. Performing in diverse venues, she is a Chautauqua scholar as well as a Kennedy Center and Wolf Trap trained teaching artist. She believes that if you don't know the trees, you may be lost in the forest, but if you don't know the stories, you may be lost in life. An advocate for the art of storytelling and arts education, her awards include National Storytelling Network's Oracle Award for Service and Leadership, Sun Award for Advancing Teaching and Learning Through the Arts, Florida Storytelling Association's Chuck Larkin Distinguished Service Award, Broward Teaching Artist Arts Ed Forward Award, a National Parenting Publication Honors Award, iParenting Award for Quentem. I might be wrong somewhere, the pronunciation. Please excuse me for that. Quentem on Queneto, Tell Me a Story CD, an endorsed master teaching artist for the South Florida Cultural Consortium and Alliance of the Local Arts Agencies from 5 South Florida countries. In 2019, she was one of the only four recipients of the National Residency Teaching Artist Credential, which recognizes the skills and experiences of exemplary school based residency teaching artists in the United States. So let's welcome Carrie Sue. Good evening, Carrie. I mean,
Hi,
good morning for US and good evening from India.
and good evening to all of you, and good morning here. That's right.
Namaste. So,
Namaste.
I'm sorry if I have pronounced any of the words wrong because I tried doing the best.
And that's the best thing we can do. It's a long list of awards, and a lot of them here in the United States don't know how to pronounce them. So that's quite all right. It just means that I've done a lot of things over a lot of years. But when it
Exactly.
comes right down to it, with all the different awards, I'm a storyteller.
Of course, yes. So, without wasting time, I hand over the stage to you. The kids have
Thank
already logged in. I'll just name a few of them. We have Mannat, we have Gurneet, we have we have Harsh, we have Kashik. No, Kashika's not there. We have Akal Preet, we have Asmeet Chot, Akshat, Kamal Khushpreet. Yes.
you.
So right, we have other students will be logging in sooner or later, but these kids are already there. So now I hand over the stage to you. It's all yours.
Thank you so much and welcome. Namaste. I'm so happy to be here with you this evening. As she said, my name is Miss Carrie Sue, and I have stories for you. I love stories. I love everything I've really learned that I remember is usually through a story. And I'd like to share something with you. It goes like this, and we'll do it again later so everybody can join in with me. But we take our hands, and this is how we would make a sign for story. If we didn't want to talk and do it silently, we could just go like that. And that means we're stretching the story. So a story, a story. You can do it with me right there in your own home. Repeat after me. A story, a story. Ah, very good. Let it come, let it go.
Sorry
Ready?
for the
Oh,
interruption.
no
Whatever
problem.
whatever actions Carrie is doing, we will be telling you to do it when you are called on stage. You have to be very carefully listening to everything that she says and does because we will be giving the answers, questions at the end of the story. And those who clear the test that is taken online will be entitled for a certification.
Yay. So do it with me. A story, a story. Your turn. A story, a story. Let it come, let it go. Ready? Let it come, let it go. Very good. Hmm. What's in a story? Your turn. What's in a story? Make a C. The characters. Ready? Your turn. The characters. The setting. The setting. Where it takes place and when it takes place. Where it takes place and when it takes place. My favorite part. Ready? The problem. Du, du, du. Your turn. Make it good. Because we don't have a problem. We don't have much of a story. The problem. Do, do, do. Oh, excellent. Solution. We have to solve that problem. Your turn. Solution. No problem. No problem. Beginning, the middle, and the end. Beginning, the middle, and the end. A story, a story. Let it come, let it go. And now we're ready for a story. And I'd like to start with a story about my own grandma. You see, my grandma, she learned a lot of different languages. She wasn't born here in the United States where I live now. She was born in Europe. And she came here when she was just 9 years old. With her mom and her sisters. Her father was already here, and her older brothers. And when she got here at 9 years old, she already spoke 5 languages. Unfortunately, none of them were English. Mm-mm. She didn't know any English. She didn't know a single word of it. She didn't know how to say hello or how are you. People would ask her name and she didn't know what they were saying. But like every immigrant child, every child that would come here, she learned. It took her some time. It's not so easy to learn a new language, is it? But she learned, and before too long, she was translating and helping her parents. She learned to speak English so well that there were people that didn't even know that she wasn't born here, that it wasn't her first language. But she didn't stop. Now she had 6 languages. But when she was very, very old, 92 years old, in fact, she decided she was going to learn Spanish. She decided she wanted to study Spanish and learn some songs and games in Spanish. There were a lot of people who thought she was a little strange. They would say her name was Selma. Selma, why are you going to start to study Spanish now at your age? You're old. Like she didn't know, right? And she said, and I will never forget, she looked at them, everybody who doubted, and said, and if I don't do it now, when? When should I do it? When I'm 100? And so she started to learn Spanish, at least a little bit, just so she could learn to communicate and understand and play and sing in it. So I want to tell this story in honor of my grandma Selma, who learned Spanish at 92. It's a very popular folk tale in Latin America. And it's all about a teeny tiny little ratoncito, mouse. Ratoncito is how we say little mouse in Spanish. Now, little mouse, he lived in the very best neighborhood, in a little mouse hole right on the side of la cocina. That means kitchen. La cocina, the kitchen. And every day he would look out from his little mouse hole to see what food might have fallen. Now, one morning, se despertó. He woke up really, really hungry. You know those days when your tummy is going grr, grr, grr. I don't know why some days we wake up hungrier than others, but this was one. Grr, grr, grr. Ooh, I'm so hungry. He looked out from his little mouse hole. And he looked a la derecha, to the right. Pero no había nada. There was nothing there. Miró a la izquierda. He looked to the left. Eh, No había nada. There was nothing there. He was so hungry. Grr, grr. And that's when he looked out, right in front, and he saw it, just underneath the kitchen table. Un pedazote, a great old big hunk, a huge piece of queso, cheese. Yeah, desayuno, breakfast. He went running out, levantó el queso, picked up that cheese. He just barely got the taste of it in his mouth cuando escuchó, when he heard, meow. Uh-oh. El gato, the cat. He took that cheese, he threw it at that cat as hard as he could, and he went running back to his little mouse hole. Gato atrás, cat right behind him. Meow. Cat stretched out his claw, went to get his little tail, and missed. That was close. Mouse had barely gotten inside his little mouse hole in time. But ahora sí, but now he had a problem. A very big problem, you see. Gato, cat. Cat knew exactly where he was. And he was walking arriba y abajo, up and down, arriba y abajo, back and forth. And little mouse, he didn't know what to do. He was in his mouse hole, but he was so hungry. He thought, if I stay inside, I could die of hunger. But if I go outside, I could die of cat. And then, se acordó, he remembered. Se acordó, he remembered some advice that his own grandma had given to him when he was just a teeny tiny little mouse. And remembering her words, he got ready. He prepared himself. He gathered up all his strength and courage. He got as close as he could to the little mouse hole door. And he breathed. And he calmed himself. And he gathered up all his strength. And then little mouse, he began to ladrar, to bark as loud as he could. Of course, as soon as that cat heard that barking, it didn't even bother to see where the dog was coming from. It just took off instead of running down the road. In fact, it might still be running. I don't know. And as for that little mouse, he just sauntered on out, picked up that big old hunk of cheese, and as he made his way back to his little mouse hole, he said to himself, my grandma was right. That was good advice. You know, it's always good to learn another language. I'm glad I speak dog fluently. Gracias. Thank you. Now I have some questions. Let's see. Remember our parts of the story? The beginning, the middle, and the end. In the beginning of every story, we have the characters and we have the setting, where it takes place and when it takes place, right? Then we have, in the middle of the story, is the problem. What was the problem in this story? Well, who were the characters? How many were there? When did it take place and how do we know? Those are the questions. And how did it get solved? Those are the questions that I have for everybody. Who were the characters? Where did it take place and when? And how do you know it? What time of day was it? Hmm? Let's figure it out. I didn't tell you exactly. I didn't say it's what o'clock, but you can figure out if it was morning or evening just from the clues in the story. And what was the problem, the big problem in the story? And how did it get solved? So, Miss Rena, I want to know if any of our students have any of those answers to our questions before I do my next
They
story.
want me to type the question to them, to those.
Do I need to type it?
Yeah, you just tell me, I'll type it.
Oh, okay. So the first question is, who are the characters? Who are the first people in the story? Then we'll get to the next story. So there's always the beginning, the middle, and the end. In the
Who
beginning,
are
we
the
have
characters? Who are the characters in
who
the
are the
story?
characters? Yep. Anybody
Second
know?
question.
The second question is, what was the setting? Where and when?
What
And
was the
how do we know
second?
what time it was?
Where, where, and when?
Hmm.
And what was the
Because
time? Which
because
was the time?
yeah, the time is part of the setting, and I gave you a clue. Ah, you have to think about it, right? I gave you a clue. And the next question is, what was the problem in the story?
This is the question.
Perfect. What was the setting? Where and when? And what was the time?
Okay, they have been answering.
Oh, I don't see it. Let me
It
see. Oh, I
says
see. I
mouse
go to
and
comment.
cat.
Oh, I see that. The
Kashika says the mouse and the cat.
the mouse and the cat. Was the dog
Yes.
actually there? There was a sound like a dog, though. That was tricky, right?
Then Vartika says the mouse and cat and the dog.
Right, but the dog wasn't really there. The mouse was just pretending to be a dog, right? But the cat and the mouse were both the characters. Exactly. Exactly. The dog wasn't really there. The dog was just the mouse speaking like a dog, right? And
Yes.
oh, but you did say the grandma. You know, the grandma was a character. We didn't actually see her, meet her, but her advice is what the mouse was remembering. Very good. Oh, I love the setting was the little mouse hole near the kitchen, and in the morning. How did we know it was morning? Very good. Excellent. Oh, I love these answers. That's right. The dog was not there, Sushma. That's right. I love that we put that in there. We knew it was morning. Because I said he woke up. Do we wake up in the middle of the night and say we're hungry, or in the evening like it is now? No, right? It's in the morning. I love your answer. It was a little mouse hole, was a little hole in the kitchen, and we woke up morning. Very good. Okay, now these are great answers. Excellent answers. Thank you. And I have another question. What was the do? What was the problem? Mouse had a problem.
Question three
Question 3. These are wonderful answers.
was the
Only the
crop.
kitchen. Oh, I love these answers. Thank you. You have wonderful students, really good listeners. Thank you for listening to my story. And I did it in English and Spanish, and you were still listening to it all. Excellent. So, what was the problem? Oh, he did have a big problem, didn't he? Little Mouse had a big problem. Yeah. What was it?
They are still looking for the answers. Let's
That's
see.
right.
They're just still
Mandatory
asking the
cat
question.
came while the mouse. Oh, but look at, is it Miha? How do I? I'm not sure how to pronounce your
Yeah,
name.
it's Neha. I think it's
Neha.
either it is Akshat or it is Tavisha.
Oh, excellent. We have that. Look, the mouse, and the problem was the cat came while the mouse was collecting his food. And we knew that the mouse was very hungry. And that's right. Who came? Gatika, you're right. The cat came. Why was that a problem? Oh, yeah, that's right. What do cats eat? The problem was the cat. And oh, the problem was the cat. And how is he going to get his food? Little mouse was very hungry. Cat was definitely a problem. Let me see. Oh, great answer. The mouse wants to get out to eat food, but he could not because if he did so, that's right, the cat would catch him. That's that's a big problem, wasn't it? The problem was cat came while mouse was collecting his food. And if he went out, the cat would catch him. That's a problem. Oh, okay. Here's our fourth question, number four. Oh, what was the solution? How did he solve the problem of not being able to collect the food with the cat there? How did he solve the
What was the
problem
solution?
with the cat
What was the
so he
solution?
could get
How?
his food? The solution.
What was the solution? How did he?
What was the solution? Yeah. How did he manage to get food when the cat was there? What did he do? He solved the problem. We know the problem from our children that the mouse was hungry and he wanted to eat some food, but when he went out, suddenly the cat had come. That is exactly what the problem is. So how did he solve it when mouse was collecting his food? Because we know what the problem was now. You guys have the problem exactly right. But now we have to figure out what did he do? Excellent. What a great answer. He collected himself, he gathered his strength and courage, and he mimicked the dog's barking. Did he really become a dog? But he mimicked the dog's barking. Oh, that's brilliant. That's exactly right. He remembered what the grandmother told him, and he barked like a dog. So the cat ran and he took the food. Because the cat didn't know he was just pretending, did he?
Exactly.
No. Excellent. He remembered his grandmother's advice, collected himself, and mimicked the dog's barking. Brilliant. These kids are brilliant. So now we have the beginning, the middle, and the end. There's always a beginning, a middle, and the end. Beginning is always, the beginning is the characters and the setting. The middle is the problem. Do, do, do. And then we have the solution at the end. Beginning, the middle, and the end. So we have it ready for all of it. Are we ready for another little story? Because Miss Rena,
Yes, they are. Yes, they
always
are.
tell the
They're
story.
very fond of stories. You keep on telling them stories and they'll be hooked to it.
Oh, good. Because this story I want everybody to learn so you can tell it yourself. So you have to pay a lot of attention and do what I do when I tell you, because you're going to be able to tell the story in any language you want. Just like my grandma learned all those languages, she also could still tell stories in her first language.
In
So,
fact, I would. I think that is what we had decided also, that whosoever listens to the story very carefully and is able to. This is a live competition. Let's see who is able to narrate the same story in their own mother tongue.
right. And the best part is you don't actually have to use the same words I do. You just have to do the same story, which is the same pictures in our mind, the images that we have in our mind. So if you want to change the characters a little bit, you can. You're the storyteller. but I'll tell you the way I tell it, and then you can tell it the way you want to tell it. I can't wait to hear it. Now, it's really simple. It's all about a baby. Coo, 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 coo. And did you know that when babies are born, no matter where in the world they are born, they all speak the same language. Uh-huh. They speak the same language. If they're born in India or Australia or Poland or Mexico or the United States, they all speak the same language. It's true. For example, if a baby is hungry like the little mouse, how do they tell us when they're really little? What do? Yep, you have it. They cry. Oh, and if a baby is cranky or overtired and needs a nap, how do they tell us? They don't have words yet. They do the same thing. What do? They cry. They need a diaper change. How do they tell us? Yeah, you have it. They cry. So when we finally get them to sleep, we don't want anybody, right? Oh, I love your answers. By the way, he thought about his grandmother's advice and he goes up and starts barking. Cats are afraid of dogs. So the cat ran away and the mouse ate his big piece of cheese. This was
And
brilliant thinking.
she's Kashika.
And you know what? Oh, I love all of this. He remembered his grandmother's advice, and he mimicked the dog and the cat ran away, he ate his food and he enjoyed it. And he was probably singing a song. You're absolutely right. Such good thoughts. But now we have a different story. Oh, look at that. You're right, Hermie. He mimicked it. I think he probably was singing a song because if I'm happy, I sing a song too. And I think Little Mouse was happy. And babies, they coo when they're happy. Coo, 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 coo. But when they're hungry and cranky and they need a nap, they cry. Shh. Go to sleep. Ah, la, roo, roo, roo. We will sing a little song. They'll finally go to sleep. Go sleep. Now, when you finally get that baby to sleep, do you want anybody to come over and say, "Oh, look at that little baby, coo, 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 coo"? No. It took me 3 hours to get that baby to sleep. Shh. Don't touch that baby. You touch that baby and wake that baby up, you have to put the baby to sleep. So that's the name of our story. Don't touch the baby. Are you ready? Now pay attention because you're going to get a chance to retell it later. Everybody, and this goes for grown-ups too. Everybody put your hand up like this. Everybody. Children, grown-ups, storytellers. So right here in the middle of your hand, see where I'm pointing? Tap it a couple of times. Touch your fingertip and tap it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. I don't want you to forget. That's why I want you to tap it a couple of times. This, in the middle of your hand, is where the baby is. Okay? Let's see who was paying attention. Quick, show me where the baby is. Where's the baby? Oh, excellent, excellent. Okay, don't forget. This is where the baby is. There's going to be a test. Did I forget to tell you that? Oh, yeah. There's going to be a test to see who's paying attention. All right? So everybody take your hand and repeat after me. This is going to be mama. All right? I'm going to do it in English and I'm going to do it in Spanish. And you can do it in any way you want. All ready? So, mama dice. That's how we say it in Spanish. Mama says. Can you do? Mama says. Your turn. Mama says. Mamá dice. Oh, look at that. You're speaking Spanish. Mamá dice. Mama says. No toques el bebé. Ready? No toques el bebé. Don't touch the baby. What does she say? Don't touch the baby. Very good. Excellent. Oh, now let's go to Papa, the dad. Papa dice, that's Baba, right? Papa dice, your turn. Papa dice, Papa says, or Baba says, ready? I want those dad voices. Do the dad voices, all right? No toques el bebé. Good dads, ready? No toques el bebé. Don't touch the baby. Your turn. Don't touch the baby. Oh, very good. Oh, and the next one is tío. That's uncle. Tío, uncle. Tío dice. Can you say that? Tío dice. Uncle says, no toques el bebé. Your turn. No toques el bebé. Don't touch the baby. Your turn. Don't touch the baby. Excellent. How about we need a grandma, right? In Spanish, that's abuela. You say abuela. Abuela dice. Your turn. Abuela dice. Very good. Grandma says. Grandma says. Let's see. How would grandma say it? She's old. No toques el bebé. Ready? No toques el bebé. Don't touch the baby. Your turn. Don't touch the baby. Oh, very good. And then hermano. The little brother says, hermano, brother. Hermano dice. Hermano dice. Very good. Brother says, your turn. Brother says, no toques el bebé. He's just a little brother, right? Don't touch the baby. Your turn. Don't touch the baby. Okay. Oh, Miss Rena, let me see you for a second while all the children are watching. Could I have you come back on? I want to see if you remember for the test. Let's see if Miss Rena remembers from the test. Up. Okay.
Yeah.
You see, where's your hand? You have your hand up for the story. Let's see if you remember. Show me where the baby is. Everybody quick. Show me where the baby who put nose. Oh, Miss Rena, you forgot. Didn't we say? No toques el bebé. Don't touch the baby. You forgot you touched the baby. Oh, wait, so did I. Go sleep, go sleep, go sleep. Yay.
Actually, I'll just let the kids in. They are excited to come on.
Awesome. All of them can come
You
on.
continue. I'll just get them in.
That would be wonderful. I can't wait to actually see all of you. I love your answers. This was great. So now you can tell that story. And if you speak Hindi or another language, can you do it in another language? The only thing we have to remember is don't touch the baby. And all our characters, Mama and Papa or Baba says, right? And then we can do uncle. If you wanted to change it to an auntie, you could do that. How about grandma? How about if we wanted to do a grandpa? We could do that too. You're the storyteller, so you can name the characters. But the secret is, I'm going to tell you the secret. In the beginning of the story, you tap your hands a couple of times. Do that now. The baby's away. It's safe. All right? As you join, tap your hands. Now stop. You see how you can feel where you were touching? When you do that, at the end of the story, you can say, quick, show me where the baby is. Most people are going to go back because our hands remember how it felt. We're going to go, it's right here. I remember. And then you can say, you forgot. It's a trick. Don't touch the baby. How's that? Oh, I can't wait to see you all in that. It'll be a lot of fun. And then we can talk about the mouse and the cat and anything else you want to know about with stories. Because a story, let it come, let it go. So Miss Rena is going to let you on very soon, and I'll get to see some of you. So this is really good. I loved your answers. It was excellent. And I also like to sing when I get happy. So that's why I sing a song about stories. Right? What are the names? The names of the characters that I did was Mama, the mother, Papa or Baba, the father, Tio, that means uncle, abuela, that's grandma in Spanish. And the little one was the brother, and he was hermano, or little brother, hermanito, which just means little, hermanito, little brother. So those were the characters, those were their names, or that's who they were. I didn't name them. But when you tell the story, could you give them names? Sure. This could be Sidhu, this could be Mitesh, this could be Amadip. It could be anyone you wanted, right? Because you're the get to be the storyteller. Oh, I have some new comments I'm going to see. Yay. Wonderful. Akalpreet, hi. Did you like the story? Excellent. Oh, I can't hear you. Let's see if we can hear you.
We cannot hear you, Beta.
Oh. Which story did you like? Or both?
Ma'am, the first one.
You like the first one? What did you think about Grandma's advice? Do you think that was good advice or confusing?
Ma'am, what are you saying?
Did you think that the grandma gave good advice to her little mouse?
Yes, ma'am. The grandma give good advice to the mouse.
It saved her little mouse. But you know, what would have happened if the little mouse didn't listen to his grandma?
Ma'am, the cat eat the mouse.
That's right. The cat would have ate the mouse, but because that little mouse was smart and clever, just like you, right? He remembered. Yep, he remembered. And you speak English, I hear. Do you speak any other language?
Yes, ma'am. I speak. Ma'am, I speak Punjabi. Ma'am, I speak Hindi.
Wow, you speak 3 languages? That's
yes,
very cool.
Ma'am, I am learning how to speak French also from the Duolingo app.
Oh, I think that's wonderful. My son speaks French and Spanish and English. I really only speak English and Spanish, but I can read in Hebrew. It's a different language too. I like learning new languages. I like to be like my grandma. I'm glad you like the story. Do you think that you could go and tell that story to somebody else?
Ma'am, what are you saying?
Can you tell the story?
Can you tell the story?
Yes, ma'am, I will tell the story.
Can you tell the story in Hindi?
Yeah, tell the story. How would you do it?
My story name is I written myself. My story name is An Intellectual Son. Once in a remote.
Wait. The story ma'am told you today. Don't touch the baby.
Can you do that one? Let me see.
Don't touch the baby. You have to tell the story. Don't touch the baby, which ma'am just told you.
Because I want to learn it in your language. Which language do you want to teach me? You want to do it?
On screen.
Oh.
You will tell the Spanish?
No.
Ma'am, Spanish? Ma'am,
And you can do it in Hindi or, well, you speak 3 languages.
Punjabi.
You tell.
You know,
Anything.
we
Hindi
can
or
all,
Punjabi, anything.
and Shushma, so the first thing we have to say is touch our hands, and now we're going to say, don't touch the baby. Ready?
Gurneet, we
Yes,
are not
ma'am.
able to
You
see your
tell me
face.
how to say it.
Don't touch the baby.
Good. Shushma, what's the first thing we're going to do?
Her name is Kashika. Her name is Kashika.
Oh, Kashika. I'm sorry, Kashika. I lost 2 pictures. Oh, I see more people coming in. Oh, good. I see now some more friends. Is it?
Sadhvi, unmute yourself, beta.
Put your hands up. Who wants to go next? Who wants to tell me again? Okay. So what we're going to say, what was the first thing we're going to do, we're going to tap our hands and tell everybody, what are we going to say?
Don't touch the baby.
Okay, good. Here's the baby. Don't touch it. Oh, wait. Don't touch it. Good.
Don't touch the baby.
So who's going to be our first character? Who was my first one?
Mama says, don't touch the baby.
Excellent. Excellent. Now let me see. A complete. Who came after mom?
Daddy says, don't touch the baby.
Excellent. Who else wants? Who came after? Who remembers?
Uncle says, don't touch the baby.
You guys are excellent. Okay, who came next? Who came next? Oh, I see your hands. Sushma, who came next? Do you remember after the uncle? It was a little old.
Grandma says,
The grandma.
don't touch the baby.
Excellent. Oh, I see some more friends coming on. So they can do it with me. And who was the last character in this story?
Brother.
The little brother. Thank you very much. And what did the little brother say?
Brother said, don't touch the baby.
And then we asked, okay, who remembers? Quick, show me where the baby is. Show me where the baby is. Where's the baby? Oh no! Oh, that's right. Some of you are smart. You just pointed to it, right? But I touched it. Oh no! What are you going to tell me? I touched the baby.
Yes, ma'am, this is it.
Someone tell me. Okay.
Don't touch the baby.
Oh! Yay! You are wonderful storytellers. Did you hear that, Rena? Miss Rena?
Yes.
That's great. Did anybody have any questions? Email.
Ma'am, which is your favorite?
Okay, raise your hand so I'll know which one to call on because I want to hear everybody.
Ma'am, why do you like to tell stories?
Oh, that's a great question. Why do I like to tell stories?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a really good question. I have always liked stories since I was a little girl. And my mom and dad, my grandma and grandpa would tell me stories. And my grandma would tell me stories from different countries. She's the one that spoke all the languages. And she would say, where would you like to go tonight? So every night at bedtime, before I went to bed, this is all true, we would pick a place. I said, I want to go to India. I'm the only one in my family that hasn't gone. And I know how beautiful it is. So she would tell me.
I invited you to India. I've already invited you to India.
After the pandemic, I would love to come. I'm the only one in my family that didn't get to go. But my grandmother would take me as a little girl, and she might tell me a story, like the story of about a song and a story that were in a woman. It's a folk tale from India, and it's still one of my favorites. Or she would say, let's go to Mexico. And she would tell me a story about why butterflies no longer live in houses like the rest of us. That's why I love telling stories. I can travel around the world, back in time, into outer space, and still make it back in time for supper in a story. How else can I travel like that, right? So that's why I like to tell stories.
Ma'am, which
Um,
is your favorite book?
Say that one more time.
Which is your favorite book?
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay, I have to be honest. I have more than one favorite book. I have a lot of favorite books, but I can tell you one of mine that's still one of my favorites was one of the first books I ever read, and I still reread it. I just read it again, and it's Alice in Wonderland. Does anybody know that book? Alice's
One of
Adventures
my
in
favorites also.
Wonderland.
One of my favorites too.
It's one of your favorites? Okay, so here's a book for you to check out. It's called Alice in Wonderland. And it's about a little girl like me, right? And she falls asleep and she dreams that she falls down a rabbit hole. She meets all these characters, including a white rabbit who talks to her. And she meets all these different, she meets cards, playing cards that talk to her. She has a great adventure. And then she wakes up and comes back home. It's one of my favorite stories. What's your favorite book, Sabi?
Ma'am, Oliver Twist. It is a novel.
I like that one too. I do like that one too. I actually
Hi,
have a
ma'am.
lot of books. Yes. Another
Ma'am,
question?
do you like non-fiction stories or fiction stories?
Okay, I have to be honest. I like both. I love fiction stories. I love make believe, but I also really like
See,
math and
ma'am, I
science.
also like fiction stories.
I love fiction stories, but I have to tell you, I also like science stories. But sometimes great scientists love fairy tales too. Did you know that Albert Einstein was a brilliant scientist, really smart man. And he said he was once asked how to become a great scientist. You know what he said? He said, read fairy tales, read fiction, because you can't imagine anything. You can't create anything until you imagine it. Oh, Manat had a question. Yes.
Ma'am, who is your favorite author?
Wait, say it one more time, Manat. I'll get back to my favorite author in a minute. Say it one more time.
Ma'am, this story is very interesting.
Can you type that in? Because I'm missing some of the words. I'm breaking up, so I missed some words. You have to ask again. I'm sorry. My favorite author is usually the one I'm reading at the time. I have a lot of favorite authors. Lewis Carroll, who did Alice in Wonderland, but I like a lot of fairy tales for the
Hello.
people like us. Hi. Oh, Mila, nice to see you. I like your answers on the comments.
How are you?
Do you have a question for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, who is your favorite author?
My favorite author, I have a lot. I actually have a lot. I like Alice in Wonderland, I like Lewis Carroll. I like my favorite one probably was my grandpa. And nobody will know but me, but he would write the stories and make up stories. He's the one that taught me. So I think he's one of my favorite.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi. So, Sushma, Neha, you both said
How are
hello.
you?
I am very good.
Ma'am,
I like playing with you. Say that again, Sushma.
Ma'am, my name is Kashika.
Oh, Kashika. I'm so sorry.
Ma'am, my name is Akshit Gupta.
Oh, nice to meet you. I just saw I just saw what it was written there. Nice to meet you both. Nice to meet you all. Does anybody have another question? What are your favorite stories? Does
Same
anybody else
as
have a favorite?
same here.
Oh, oh, what else?
Ma'am, she is my sister.
It was nice to meet you. Hey, before you all go, let me see. You can do it. Are you ready?
Ma'am, are you coming favorite story?
What's your favorite story?
Ma'am, can you come in India?
I would love to come to India.
Which is your favorite story?
And then I can
Ma'am,
tell you
can you come to India?
if I come to India, would you tell me a story?
No.
Yeah? Okay. I would like that very much. In fact, I would like to do a story with you right now. Let's do our story check. Everybody take your hands. Take your hands. Ready?
Yes, ma'am, I
And we're
will
going to
do.
make the sign for story. Pulling the parts of the story. Ready? Good job. Excellent. So do repeat after me. A
Story,
story of
story,
story.
story, story,
Story.
story,
Tom,
story,
let it go.
Let it go.
Excellent. One more time. Let it come. Let it go.
Let it go.
Okay, now make a scene. Let's talk about the parts in a story. The characters. Your turn. The characters. That was excellent. The setting. Make a house. The setting. That means where it takes place. Good job. And when it takes
I
place.
need to move out of here
Good
because
job.
there are other kids wanting to
My
join.
favorite part. Ready? Drop, drop, drop. Ooh, ooh. Show me the
Good
problem.
evening, ma'am.
I love it. Good evening. The problem. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's really good. Solution. Solution. No problem. What solution mean? No problem. Good job. I love that. Good storytelling. Beginning, the middle, and the end. Beginning, the middle, and the end. A story, a story. Let it stop. Let it go. Yay! You are wonderful storytellers. I'm so happy to meet you. I love your questions.
Story.
I love your answers. And now you have stories you can share at home. Oh, look at you.
How should I write story?
I like
Let it
Let it go.
excellent. Excellent.
This story. Can you come here, please?
Say it one more time.
Ma'am, as a beginner, I like to write story. Ma'am, which type of story do you like?
The stories I like, I really like
this story,
folktales.
mouse and cat.
They're probably my favorite kind of stories. And they don't have one author. That's why it was hard for me to know who's my favorite author. Folktales, they're stories that are passed along from person to
Ma'am,
person.
listen me.
I do see you. I see you. Kamalji, is that your name?
Speaker.
I see you. I see all of you on the screen. And I love folk tales. Folk tales are stories that are told by people like you and me, folk, and they're passed from person to person to person. So like the stories I told you today, those are folk tales, which means when you tell the story, you can make changes.
Ma'am, as a beginner, how I start to write a story?
Do I like to write a story? I do. As a matter of fact, wait 1 second, I'll show you the book I wrote. So here's the book that I wrote. Okay?
What is the name of this book?
The name of the book is called Risas y Sonrisas. Laughter
Ma'am, this
and
is your
Smiles.
favorite book?
This is the book I wrote. It's not always my favorite book, but it's called Laughter and Smiles because I like to be happy. And so I will do different nursery rhymes and
Ma'am,
rhymes.
what is the name that you have written?
In fact, in this book, you might find a story that we just did. Look at, here. You see this one? What story do you think this is?
Don't touch the baby.
That's right. Don't touch the baby because I liked it so much. I put it in my book. And it was all my children's favorite rhymes and stories. So I like songs and I
Ma'am,
like
how many
stories.
languages do you know? Ma'am, how many languages do you know?
How can you do this? Listen to the songs. I might send some of it. You know what? I'll send the audio to Medina, so maybe she can share it with you. Yes, ma'am. I hear you.
Yes,
Yes, I hear you.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, I hear you.
Writing the stories.
Say that one more time about writing the stories.
At what age you start writing the stories?
Oh, I started making up stories when I was just a little girl. And I didn't start by writing them down. I started by telling them, and then I would retell them. Because I would do it maybe a little different until I found the way I really liked it. And then once I started, I wrote it down after I really told the story. That's what works for me. I tell it first, then I write it down. And I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. Yes, I'm like, yes, I see you. What would you like to ask me?
How should I start to writing stories?
I do hear you. Am I calling you by the wrong name? I'll get you a story in just a moment, Saj. How do you pronounce your name, Sajmi?
Sadhvi Goel.
Sajmi Goel. I'll get you yours in a moment.
Ma'am.
I hear you.
Ma'am. You are not audible.
Okay. To write your own stories, you have to come up with an idea first, right? When you do, find a way that works for you. My daughter would write it down first, and then she would tell it to me and make changes and then write it down. I have a friend who takes the stories first. She colors them, but she comes up with the idea. So think about it. When you want to write your story, it's a great question. Make sure you have a beginning, a middle, and the end. So you need to have the characters, right? You need to figure out the setting, where it takes place, and when it takes place. Then figure out the problem. You can make a really good, juicy problem, look a good story, but you have to figure out how are you going to end it. You have to come up with a solution. It doesn't have to be a happy ending, but I like happy endings. But that helps.
Yes, ma'am.
All those parts of
Ma'am, how many languages do you know?
I hear you.
Okay, kids. Now it's time to wind up. Yes, Kushpreet.
Ma'am,
Yes, Kushpeet. Yes, I hear you.
I like this story, Mouse and Cat.
I'm glad you like the story Mouse and Cat. Can you tell that one?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Can you pretend that you can bark like a dog? Kashmir, how would the dog bark?
Bow, bow, bow.
Good job. Woo, woo, woo. Would it scare the dog? Would it scare the cat?
Bow, bow.
Woo, woo,
Whoa,
woo.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Cat.
The cat's gonna run
Meow,
out.
meow. Meow, 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 meow,
The cat is look. The cat ran away.
meow.
Now let me see them now. This is how you write the stories. You make those characters come alive, right? You think about how were they feeling? What were they thinking? So let me see the mouse. Is the mouse proud? Is the mouse happy?
Mouse is very happy.
Yep.
Mouse is very happy.
Mouse is very happy eating his cheese. That's how you write a story.
Eating
You
is
can
so
imagine the
much.
characters. If you
Eating
can
is
imagine the actors. Hi.
Papa, mama का status देखो. आपकी और
Okay.
मेरी फोटो मैच
It's telling us it's time to go.
मैम
Yes.
status करना देखो. मैम,
Yes, ma'am.
मैम,
Yes, I hear you.
mama says
Don't touch me, baby.
no touch me maybe.
Papa is here.
Papa is here.
Don't touch me, my baby.
Don't touch me my baby.
Uncle is here.
Uncle is here.
Don't touch me, my baby.
Don't touch me my baby.
Grandmother
Grandmother
is here.
is here.
Don't touch me, my baby.
Don't touch me my baby.
Brother is here.
Brother is here.
Don't touch me, my baby.
Don't touch me my baby.
Okay. And where's the baby?
Ma'am, you have written one.
Okay, dear children.
That was really well done.
Kushpreet, how old are you?
Excellent. Well, thank you all. I'm so happy to
How
meet
old are
you.
you, Kushpreet?
Keep telling stories. Keep writing stories.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
How old are you?
Ma'am, you have written one. 5 years old.
Very good. Manat, how old are you? Akalpreet, how old are you?
Ma'am, I am 10 years old.
10 years old.
And
Oh, great,
Kashika?
great.
Kashika, how old are you? She's gone.
Yep, she's
Yes,
gone.
Advi, how old are you?
Ma'am, I am 10 years old.
Very good.
And they're both wonderful storytellers.
Gurneet, how old are you?
Right on me.
Ma'am, आपको मैं प्रेस Ma'am, 10 years old.
Very good.
Back, how old are you?
उन्हें मैडम ने सुनी भी है
Gurneet, you are 10 years old?
Ma'am, 11 years old.
Okay, great, great, great. Okay, now we end our session here. We will see you tomorrow.
Sukma, how old are you?
As requested, you know, ma'am, these days they've been requesting for horror stories. They want a spooky story.
Ma'am, when you give us, when you send our certificate, hi, ma'am.
We will send it. We have to wait for some time. We'll send it on your mails.
Ma'am, we have to send you the. Ma'am, on which is the date you will send our certificate?
You will come to know very soon.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, ma'am,
Bye
we will
bye.
have
Good
to give you
night.
details.
Bye. Good
Bye,
night,
ma'am.
Yeah, you
everyone.
have
Bye,
to send it
ma'am.
a mail
Thank
also.
you.
You're welcome.
Bye,
Good
ma'am.
night.
Bye,
Bye.
ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye. I'm so happy to meet you all. Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Oh my gosh.
खुशप्रीत बाय बोलो
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
तो मुझे आपको
Bye,
प्राइस देनी पड़ेगी
Khushpreet.
मैम मुझे
Bye.
स्टेज सुनानी थी आपको
Love their story.
Bye, Manna.
Bye, Nana.
when you come to India.
So happy to meet you all. Bye. It was nice to meet you. It was what a pleasure. Thank you, Rena. That was fun. It was a little hard to hear sometimes, but it was
Yes, because
altogether fun.
there were lots of issues regarding the network and other problems. Because at some
It's
places they
always
were just
hard when you
switching.
have everybody on. It just is. Yeah,
That
it
is
is.
why we've chosen StreamYard because
Actually worked really well. I have to say, StreamYard worked. I've been working on a couple of different ones. This worked very well. Worked very well.
yes.
Yeah,
So
I
here
love.
we end.
Okay, I have to tell you, when the 5-year-old started telling the story of the baby, I love it. But with great questions, like you have, your 10-year-olds are really good storytellers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here we end our session for today. Thank you so much for
You're
coming.
so welcome. My
Blessed
pleasure.
to
Now
have
I
you
have to
here,
go over
and
and
the
help
kids
Chris.
really enjoyed.
Oh,
Thank you
so
and
my
namaste.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank
Good
you.
luck, Rena. If I hear anything about, or if I figure out.
So tomorrow we will be there where again Ami the storyteller, she's coming back tomorrow with your demand, the spooky stories. Thank you and see you tomorrow. Namaste.